Hi, this is Gazer. So today we are going to look at this jersey. This is Portland Blazers, Damian Lillard, 2020-2021 season jersey. As usual, I don't even know what they're called, Icon Association, whatever they are. It's one of the basic colorway for the Portland. I'm just not a big fan of that new way of calling it. Hopefully they'll just go back to home and away. It makes my life a lot easier. But for today, we're looking at this colorway. This is something I got together with a couple other jerseys when they first released the association and icon for 2020 season. This was one of the few that released on the first day. Unfortunately, Portland is not playing the playoff anymore because they're eliminated. But I do like Damian Lillard, especially he's from the Bay Area, so I usually pick up his jersey every year. I think I did a couple in the past. And before I get into the review, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel as well as liking the video. Appreciate your support, and let's look at this jersey. But let's look at this in detail real quick. So this one is made in Guatemala, which is the same with all the other jerseys that I have done review for this year. Usually for the same edition, so in this case association or icon, they're all usually made in one country. When they go to city edition, sometimes they go to like Thailand or some other country, but Guatemala is pretty much the main place to get these manufactured. It has a V-neck, 2 colors for the ribnet. These colors are not screen print. This is the color of the yarns that they used. Same thing with the armhole, ribnet. They're about 1.25 inches, I think. That's how wide they are. Compared to Mitchell and Ness, these are a little bit thinner. Probably because of the performance reason. They don't need it to be that thick like the old school jerseys. So they are a little bit easier to wear around the neck. To me, the Mitchell & Ness collars are a little too thick and I don't feel as comfortable as the Nike one. A little bit of warping here. I think I mentioned the past video already, but these have a lot better construction and compared to the previous years. So I have a lot less complaints so far as the strap warping goes. This is a Nike swoosh. So this one, I thought it's a screen print, but if I look at it closely, there is a transparent layer outside the swoosh. So this must be a heat press. It does have a texture on the swoosh though. Here's a logo. Portland. These patches are individually cut and pasted and glued on pretty much. They use a heat so it does not come off easily, but that's pretty much all they do. They use a heat, glue, and paste. So if you do wash often, then these might wear off a little bit faster than if you didn't. And because this is not stitched on, it will come off eventually. If this had a top stitch on it, then even if the glues go bad, it will stay in place because there's a real stitch holding on the patches to the base fabric. Number 0, the red is just a print on the white fabric. If you look at it closely, the Portland, these letters, and these patches are separate. They are not the same patch because this one, the white is stronger, whereas this one, the white is not as strong. The patches are a little bit thinner, so you could see the perforation on the back. You see that little sesame looking white areas? That's just a sign of perforation behind it. But on the name, you wouldn't see that. That's because it's thinner on these patches. The red, you could see the white outline around it. Not a big fan of this line, so I wish they could find a way to improve this quality. And as you can see, there is a diagonal line going through the middle of the body. Red, white, and gray. This is made with different panel. You can see the top stitch here. This is a separate piece. White and red, they are separate piece too. You can see the top stitch there. And even the gray, this is made with a ribbon. And they are connected right here. So there is a lot more stitching and construction going into this piece. There are several jerseys that has these type of paneling. One of them being, I think, Denver Nuggets. I believe they have jersey with multiple panels, as well as Milwaukee Bucks. They also have something like this. Not the diagonal line, but they do have something with multiple panels on the front part of the body. If you look at it inside, that's how it looks. So they are stitched on one by one. Looks pretty good. The seams looks pretty nice. The lines are a lot cleaner. I feel like the older models, the lines were a little bit more rigid or not as smooth as these. So I definitely think this year's model had better construction than before. So if you have the old model, but it had a lot of issue, this year, maybe the year to replace them. This is the bottom tag, Swingman, because this is a Swingman class, NBA jersey. And 52, engineered, style code, I think, and Nike swoosh. There is no Nike Connect. That's why there's no tag here. And that's pretty much it for the front. So let's look at the back now. This is how the back looks. So on the back, there is no diagonal line. There is some right there, but that's part of the side panel. So the back panel itself is just a solid black fabric. There is a shoulder panel though, just like the usual Swingman jersey. The collar is the same as the front, as well as the armhole. same type of fabric, or it's actually the same piece, so I'm not gonna go over the same information twice. NBA logo. This is just like the swoosh on the front, but this one is slightly thicker sometimes, but it does show the same texture as the Nike swoosh. Lillard. So Lillard is a thicker patch. This 12 fabric is thicker than the jersey numbers. So it's just like the Portland patch in the front. You do not see the perforation shown through the white. But if we look at the number, just like the front, it is showing again. And now this time, it's a lot more obvious because it's a bigger patch and there's more white space. So all this sesame looking thing, that's the perforation. Red edges, those are screen printed on the white twill fabric. And because they cut that, you'll see these red having a white edge. And this is something that really bothers me. Even with this distance, you could still see that white edges around the red.